So I had to make an amendment to this video. I recorded this video last night, but in further looking into it, I need to clarify some things. But I first want to say that we need to be stocking up. Yes, I know the items are so expensive now, but the thought of this continuing to happen and the fact that a lot of our goods are coming in on these container ships is concerning, that things could be shut down and supplies not be able to get to the stores because they cannot get off the ships. So what am I talking about? Yet another container ship lost control. This time it was in South Carolina. The judge has recently released the ship because they forced the ship to stay there after the incident took place. This closed a major artery, a major bridge in South Carolina. Y'all, this continues to happen. Right now, the FBI is investigating. Later in the video, you'll hear me say that the people that the boat struck, the ship struck, that they did not have any injuries. Yes, they did have injuries and they were transported to a medical facility. There were non-life-threatening injuries, but yet they were still injuries. And in the midst of all of this stuff happening, an entire beach was evacuated. Yes, I said it, evacuated. I'll get into it further into this video. So let's get into this video.
Hey, what's up, cousins? Welcome back to TOMMYBITES TV and Life. So today we're going to discuss this container ship issue, as if we haven't discussed many issues with these ships and the bridges here. So I had no idea that this had taken place, and this was a recent incident, you guys, that happened in South Carolina with a cargo ship. So let's just jump into the story. Before I do, please hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure your notifications are turned on. And I welcome you to TOMMYBITES TV and Life. You are now an official cousin if you have done all of those things. So let's jump into it. An out-of-control cargo ship forces the temporary closure of Charleston Bridge, according to officials. They're saying it went wrong. So this is the Ravenel Bridge, in the Ravenel Junior Bridge in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. This is actually a bridge that my daughter is very afraid, and I'm talking about my grown daughter, my oldest daughter. She's very, and I'm not laughing at her, but she's very afraid of bridges. That is a major thing for a lot of people, but she gets a lot of anxiety, and to the point where she freezes. And she didn't realize one time that she was headed for that bridge, because usually her and her husband will switch out and he will drive. And she literally crept across that bridge, she said. So that's a real fear. And then the thought that something like a container ship could have possibly done some serious damage to that bridge. So a major bridge in Charleston, South Carolina was temporarily closed Wednesday afternoon after crew lost control of a large container ship after it left port. They lost control of the ship, y'all. The U.S. Coast Guard was alerted to an out-of-control vessel in the Cooper River around 12:15 on just this past Wednesday. Coast Guard's Sector Charleston Deputy Commander released that statement on Wednesday. Authorities rushed to clear boaters from the vessel's path and shut down the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge before the ship passed underneath. The Ravenel Bridge is shut down in all directions. The incident came just over 2 months after the 213 million pound daily cargo vessel lost power and crashed into the Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, destroying the 1.6 million span and killing 6 construction workers. The disaster spurred increased scrutiny of bridges across the country that could be at risk of collapse as infrastructure ages and cargo ships continue to grow in size. Shortly before the ship in Charleston lost propulsion, it was nearly full throttle, you guys, according to Preston. Because of that, the ship proceeded with strong momentum. The pilot on board indicated the vessel lost ability to control the engines and they were stuck nearly full ahead of the vessel, making between 14 to 17 knots, or about 16 to 19.5 miles per hour. I'm starting to wonder though, because they really have not said anything about when the Daily lost control, when the power went out on the Daily. Did that have anything to do with any cyber attacks or anything like that? I think they said it didn't, but I don't know if that was an official thing that, investigation. With this one, I'm starting to wonder the same exact thing. Are these ships being tampered with? So, excuse me. Hold on. It's dry season here. The vessel passed safely under the bridge and didn't hit any of the bridge supports, thankfully. Eventually, the crew was able to regain control of the engines and anchored the vessel about 8.5 nautical miles offshore. The Ravenel Bridge, a 2.5 mile long overpass with a 1,546 foot cable straight main span, is a major artery connecting Charleston to Mount Pleasant. If you don't have that connection for that bridge, people will be stuck where they are. While Preston couldn't say how close the vessel came to the bridge, anytime a vessel can't control its propulsion, it's concerning, he said. But it turned out well this time, y'all. And that's due to our intense partnerships and coordination. Coast Guard crews were headed to the ship to investigate the incident. The vessel MSC Michigan 7 is about 997 feet long and 74,000 gross tons. It was headed to Savannah, Georgia, but must remain anchored until further notice. 2 recreational boaters in the area were pushed onto some rocks by the ship's wake and sustained non-life-threatening injuries. I'm sure their boats were damaged. Let's see. There were also reports of minor damage along the vessel's route. Inspectors were conducting damage assessments throughout the port. In addition to Charleston police temporarily closing the Ravenel Bridge to traffic and pedestrians around 12:41 p.m., the Fort Moultrie Beach was evacuated as a precaution in case the vessel needed to ground. So they evacuated a beach. Wow. Local authorities were heard on the radio traffic discussing the incident and working on closing that bridge. MSC Michigan 7 currently outbound down the Cooper River. They've lost propulsion and they are worried about potentially running into the Ravenel Bridge. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that that did not happen. You said they've lost propulsion. This is the conversations they're having over their radios, you guys. Someone replies, "Yes, ma'am. That is confirmed. We need the Ravenel Bridge shut down." The bridge reopened after the vessel safely passed underneath. But for that time period, you guys, they shut that bridge down. I'm sure that was scary for everyone, because I'm pretty sure what was in their mind was what happened in Baltimore. But this is the bridge right here. Just wanted to bring you some news that you hopefully can use. And y'all, I'll see you in the next video. Hit the like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Sharing is caring.
I've been giving you the